Good evening, Des Moines. Welcome to the Doc and Lefty program, coming to you from the beautiful north side of the webcast1live.com studios. This is Lefty. As always, we are bringing you the perspectives you love from the side you hate. I am pleased to announce that we have a guest because I had to break up the monotony. Anyway, across the table, and I'll tell you, speaking of monotony, Dr. Papatrosh.
Yeah, right there was a lot of monotony.
Doc, I just got to say,
what?
You're looking good.
Oh, thanks. I've been busting. I've been working hard trying to lose some weight here.
Yeah?
Well, you inspired me. My old high school class president, David Perry, inspired me. That guy has been fat ever since we were kids. He shows up at the reunion, and he's looking like Maddie. You know?
Good Lord.
Yeah, because he's also a cross-dresser. So you know, in two ways.
Hey,
nowhere near as good looking as Maddie, though.
Well, sometimes you can't account for that.
Oh yeah, but I'm telling you, it's a miraculous weight loss for this guy. So I figured if he can do it, I can do it.
All it takes is I don't know. I don't know what it does because you don't eat anything. Basically, that's what it is. But no, I'm very pleased.
Well, you started losing some weight too.
Oh, I'm down about 30, buddy.
I know. We had
a little over 30.
We had that bet where you stomped all over me, and I still owe you dinner, which owing a liberal is one of the worst things that you can do.
We don't ever
do it.
We don't ever collect until it's beneficial to us. No, but I'm very pleased. We got a guest who is now we are going to extend to you, Rabbi, friend of the show status, since it's the second time on. Rabbi David, if you'll have us, if you'll be our friend,
if you'll be friends with us,
Rabbi David Kaufman from Beth Jeshurun synagogue here in B'nai Jeshurun. See, I'll have him do it. I can't pronounce these.
Temple B'nai Jeshurun.
B'nai Jeshurun. Almost had it. Rabbi David Kaufman is here today, not just a leader and a scholar and an all-around smarty pants here in town, but also a expert on the Middle East, on Israel, and the issues therein. And we have him on because
he's a smart guy.
He's way smarter than either one of us put together, which that's damning with faint praise. But just to say, but
I got a lawyer and a doctor. That's pretty good praise.
You don't need to be smart to be either one. That's all I know.
Knowing some of my classmates, and I'm sure knowing some of your classmates, that is the absolute truth. Yeah. But I would want to have you on. I wanted to have you on for a couple of weeks. I reached out. We weren't able to make our schedules connect because this the Iran deal. We've talked about it a couple of times on the show. It is still in the news because it seems like it is coming to fruition, that the long process of the vetting and the opprobrium and all the rest of it is coming to an end. It seems like that a couple more senators, I think Senator Casey and Senator Coons from Delaware, Casey from Pennsylvania, I think, and then Senator Coons from Delaware, said that they were behind it with reservations. I think Casey put out a 17-page paper saying, look at all these problems, but I'm going to sign off on it anyway. And so we wanted to have you on to talk about your thoughts on the Iran deal, the larger issues with the that's present for the Middle East, and so we're really happy to have you. And so I guess we can just we can start right off, right?
Well, I'm looking at one of Rabbi's posts. You guys found the Ark underneath.
I was excited
because I'm like, those ancient alien theorists are right. It's right there. Who knew it was in Des Moines?
They're digging. They're digging as if
we
have renovations going on. So
it's not a funny law. But one of the laws that I really respect about a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, and particularly Israel, is if you do anything, you have to have the antiquities department out there watching your dig to make sure you don't dust anything up. And apparently, they found Joseph of Arimathea's coffin.
Well, they've
ossuary.
There are all kinds of there are always rumors of discoveries of major figures. Relics in Israel all the time, and most of the time they're nowhere close to the truth.
Nowhere close to the truth.
But sometimes they actually the other day they did announce the discovery of something that had piqued a lot of interest. They found what looked like a soapbox like we have at the state fair.
Sure.
3 or 4 steps high, a platform. And it's along one of the major entries to Jerusalem, right outside the Mount of Olives. And they're thinking that it could well have been something either for Christian pilgrims in Roman times or Roman officials, or who knows what it could have been. But there are various descriptions in both rabbinic literature and some of the other literature about a place for auctions. It could potentially have been a Roman slave auction place, or it could have been a place where people went and made political announcements, or who knows what else. But it's kind of interesting when archaeology actually does interact with our historical text.
Now, have you ever been to Istanbul?
I've never been to Istanbul.
Well,
that's not true. I've been in the airport.
You've been in the airport? Well, what was it, last year before? I went to Istanbul.
Last year, I think.
Last year. Anyway, I was in Istanbul because, that's better than being at home for Thanksgiving, and was walking around, and they have just old Romans.
I think I've been in the airport, yeah.
What?
I think I've been in the airport. I can't remember one of those airports I went to.
But they have the, like the old Roman stela that say how far it is to Rome and all these. They apparently, it was the actual one that they originally put up, right? So I thought that was cool, and I thought the Circus Maximus is around here somewhere. And I spent 2 days looking for it, going back and forth. And of course, unless you want to buy a rug over there, they don't want to talk to you. I stumble into a guy from Germany who doesn't speak a lick of English. So this is in halting, broken German from my high school. He explains that what I'm walking around is the circus, and that the buildings that they have, actually they have taken the seats out and put the new buildings up, and it was phenomenal. And they had, it was just incredible. And there's so many artifacts when they're digging and doing road work, they don't even bother to protect them. They write on them with a Sharpie and stick them up above, and then twice a day the people come around, cart it off. So that was pretty interesting. So it might be worth a trip there just to see, some of the Roman.
That's really super cool. I once found an arrowhead in my backyard when I was growing up on the farm, so I feel like I'm on a par with the rest of you guys. So
now was it a real arrowhead? Or was it a broadhead?
Oh, I'm kidding, man. I have no idea. Oh. I have no idea. No, I haven't.
See, like I said, you don't need to be all that smart to be a lawyer.
Right. I haven't been anywhere. But we wanted to discuss specifically, I guess the first broad question, and I don't know if we want to just...
a couple of minutes.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll pose the broad question as it stands. Is this deal, is this a good deal, or is this a bad deal?
Well,
reductive as it is.
A deal?
Yeah, there are a number of things. As it stands right now, it needs some help. That's how I would say it. I would prefer for the help to happen before it gets put in place, and before Congress gives its okay, basically, or at least doesn't give its opposition to it. But there are a number of things that are going to have to be taken care of. There's some questions in enforcement. It's pretty obvious if you have a single death penalty for all crimes, you're not going to enforce any penalties on most crimes. And that's not going to work for the length of a deal. There need to be some enunciated penalties for more minor offenses that Iran might do, so that you will actually have some enforcement of something. Otherwise, Iran's just going to continue to push the boundaries as far as they want, and we're going to have problems with no consequences.
Well, we're going to come back with Rabbi Kaufman right after this break. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I think this is going to be an interesting discussion.
Yes.
With a guy who really does know what he's talking about, unlike most of the shows we have here.
Pretty much. We've been doing this for 3 years, and I still don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't either. And in fact, Maddie has often said, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And I don't know. So we're going to be back right after this break. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Bertrosian Associates at bertrosianassociates.com. Lubinas Law Firm, Halo Capital at Des Moines Interest Rates, Des Moines Anesthesia PC at 515-574-6442. We love having them as a sponsor. They do pain medicine as well as anesthesia. And pain medicine specialists are very rare. They're even more rare than child psychs like me. So if you need some help, go give them a call. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And we have a new blog up on docandlefty.com. And Blake promises that he'll actually get one done. And
yes.
this is what happens after we ask if he's got it done or not.
It's true.
We'll be back right after the break.